Sports Show. I'm your host, Tyler. I'm going to break down the Thursday night game a little bit here for you and give you some good sit starts for the week. And, we'll talk about a couple different things. It'll be a quick episode. So remember, if you're watching this video, hit that like button, subscribe, share it, show all your friends. All your friends want to see this, right? So, we're trying to make some good quality content here. So, you know, sharing with anybody would be great. We appreciate it. So, with that being said, let's go ahead and get into the game here. So, Thursday night, it was, some people will say, oh, it was sluggish and this and that. It was a defensive battle. Like we kind of talked about it yesterday, is that you have two good defenses, very good defenses coming in together, playing, obviously the other offense, but they're playing each other. So we kind of knew it was going to be a little bit of a defensive battle. The over and under, I believe, was at 44 and a half, so pretty low scoring game, and I think it even got under that. I don't remember what the exact score here was. 2019, yeah, so it came in under. And we said the under, yes, we like that. So let's go ahead and talk about some of the bets. We posted on our Twitter accounts what the bet was. So some of the bets that we said three bets. We said Jimmy Graham over receiving yards, Gronk over, and then Daryl Mooney four over 3.5 receptions was his. Gronk was I think 34 and a half, and then Jimmy Graham was 28 and a half. So Jimmy and Gronk got over. Darnell Mooney he didn't look healthy, unfortunately. There's quite a few plays where he's just grabbing his shoulders, so it looks like there's an issue going on there. Now, we didn't hit it, unfortunately. Dang it. But we hit on the other ones, and then also we'll talk about a couple other things. But another one that I liked was right when it came out. You can go and watch our previous videos. Look, I've put them up here for you. They're right here. So now you can go back and watch them, right? But in one of them, right when this line came out, it was at 4.5 for plus 4.5 for Chicago, and I was like, man, that's a really good line. I like that line because I like them outright to win the game, especially because Tampa Bay's so banged up. So plus 4.5, I thought was a no-brainer. Bet on that, made a little parlay, FanDuel hit a little bit, got a little bit of money, eh? But no, but it was a decent game. I enjoyed it. Let's go ahead and kind of like talk about the outlook. Well, attention grabbers. I do want to say on the podcast, well, not on the podcast, on the show the other day, I talked about Tyler Johnson. I said, hey, I think he's going to be good, and he looked good. He looked good out there. I believe he was the leading receiver on um, Tampa Bay's side of the ball. I believe he had 60 yards, 5 catches, 60 yards or something. So he looked pretty good. He did look pretty good. But dang it, I needed Ronald Jones for 3 yards, dude. 3 yards is all I needed for Ronald Jones to hit a couple of my parlays, and he had two receptions that he could have caught and dropped them. The second one was a drop. He should have caught that, would have fell for 4 yards. I would have made it over, but instead, no. I got to get the under, and I don't hit my parlays. Anyways, outlook for both teams going forward. Honestly, these are two. I know people will say, "Oh, Chicago, their offense looks terrible." This was a good Bucks defense. Like it's always last year they were the number one rated rush defense, and then this week or coming into the game they're the number two. So this is a good rush defense, and the pass defense has actually gotten a lot better as well. So I think this is pretty good defense. And on the Chicago side, obviously it's a good defense. Khalil Mack was out there creating some havoc. So these are two good teams going forward, and I wouldn't be surprised. Both of them make the playoffs, and we'll see what happens, especially with how long Tom Brady can be Tom Brady for, right? I mean, he's 43, I believe. We'll see how long he can keep it up. So let's go ahead and just talk about some buy and sells before Week 5. Now, these are before the games happen. Some guys that you should be thinking about possibly buying, or some guys you should be selling if they're on your roster. So the first one I want to talk about is DJ Moore. I think DJ Moore right now is in a good spot that you could possibly buy low on him. The owner is probably, depending. Now it's hard because every trade is different, right? Maybe the person that owns them sitting in a good spot and they don't really want to give up. Maybe the owner is sitting, 1-3 and they need to make a trade. So this could be a good opportunity. So it's always different. And I'll say this: always go in with your lowest offer, right? It's just like trying to make a deal. You got to go in with your lowest offer, work your way up. Try try to suck up to him, say, hey, that was a good pick. It just didn't work out. Maybe I could take him off your hands for you. That kind of stuff. You gotta be smooth in those negotiations, right? And another thing, if you're somebody, never say no when somebody says, hey, you want to do a trade. Never say no. Listen to the trade. I've seen so many egregious trades on Twitter that I'm like, how did this happen? Right? Somebody could come along and offer you something really stupid, and you're like, okay, yeah, I'll take that. That's why you don't say no. So, with that being said, DJ Moore, I believe he's in a good spot to buy low. He right now, I believe we said he was top 10 in targets, so he's getting targets in this offense, in an offense that's there's not a very good defense, so they're going to always kind of be in games passing the ball, and sure, Robbie Anderson looks like Teddy Bridgewater's number one right now, but this offense can support two wide receivers. So I think DJ Moore is in a good spot to buy low on. Kenyon Drake, this one's tough because I keep going back and forth with it. Do we think he's going to merge here? I mean, he did have a lot of times in Miami where he just didn't do anything. So we saw him break out for a couple of games last year, and everybody's like, "Oh man, this guy's gonna be a stud," and he has been a stud lately. And also, just this offense doesn't look that good. So this one's tough. In my opinion, I would sell Drake for whatever you can. If he goes off against the Jets, whatever. But that's against the Jets, right? He plays in a pretty tough division to run yeah, especially run the football on because you have San Francisco and you have Seattle, who are pretty good rush defenses, and Los Angeles Rams are pretty good as well. So I would say sell because he's only playing. I shouldn't say only, but 60% of the snaps, and he's not really getting that passing down work. So I'd sell. Melvin Gordon, I would absolutely sell. I would have sold on Thursday night because that was a great game from him. And now you have Philip Lindsay coming in here who's going to see carries, who's going to see work. 100% he's a sell for me. I would try to get him off of my hands for whatever you can. And there's going to be some desperate teams out there that lost running backs. So go to those teams first. Go to those teams. Ask them, hey, I see you're hurting for a running back here. I got Melvin Gordon. Did you see what he did lately? You'll have somebody who will, take the bait, So go ahead, offer somebody. Robert Tonyan, I would sell absolutely. Guys that you want to sell are guys who've had their best games. He's had his best game. He's not scoring 3 touchdowns every week. He's at his all-time peak. So you sell high on that. You sell high, you cash in. Maybe you say, "Oh, I just picked him up. Nobody's going to trade him." There's going to be somebody out there that wants a tight end, and they're going to be like, "Oh my gosh, I need a tight end. I need a tight end." Robert Tonyan, yes, I'll take him, please, and they'll give you something for him. I would sell him. Uh, Buffalo and Tennessee players. This one's kind of tough because especially Tennessee right now, you're going to probably go possibly 2 weeks now without having to play like Derrick Henry, AJ Brown. Well, AJ Brown's been even longer than that. So this is kind of like, especially if you're in a situation where you're 1-3 right now and you need to win, I would 100% look into trying to sell these guys. Obviously not for pennies. I'd try to get something good. Go to a team that's doing pretty well right now. See if you can get some guys that are going to be playing this week in good matchups. And hey, you got to do what you got to do to win. So this helps you win. Get rid of these players because there's a chance that they don't win. I would obviously be talking and then try to build up into Sunday to have more clarification on whether these games are going to happen or not. But some of these players possibly. Montgomery, I would hold on him. He's had 2 tough games in a row. No Robert or Tariq Cohen. I don't know why I said Robert, but no Tariq Cohen for the rest of the year. So he's going to be heavily involved in this game. Yes, he didn't look that great. I honestly think he looked not too bad. He was on a, the Chicago's offensive line is not good. Like Nick Foles was getting pressured all night, and there's guys in the backfield before he can even do anything, and he's picking up some yards. I think he looked pretty good, and especially going forward, he's going to have Detroit, who's going to be beatable. Minnesota hasn't looked that good, right? Then he has the Packers. Are the Packers that good? They're decent, so but I like him going forward. Keenan Allen, 100% going by him if you can. This is your last opportunity. He's been playing. He's been seeing. I think last week was a 46% target share last week. 46%. That's insane. That is an insane target share. Now, it hasn't translated to like these eye-boggling numbers like last year, right? But it's going to here, and I'm telling you, this is your last chance to buy somebody who, the price isn't going to be that cheap for him, but it's going to get very, very, a lot higher than what it is right now. So he's somebody I would go and buy. And then some quick start and sits here for the week. Some that I keep saying on Twitter over and over again that are in the same range. So Joshua Kelly, Darrell Henderson. For me right now, it'd be Joshua Kelly because Cam Akers coming back this week. This backfield is going to be a mess. No, thank you. I'll take Joshua Kelly where he's kind of the number one. They got this little duo going where it's kind of a split. He's seeing a little bit more, so I would go Joshua Kelly. Drake or Gibson. Now this one's tough because do you believe in Drake here? Do you believe in Drake against a decent? It's a pretty good matchup against the Jets. They got Joe Flacco coming in. Joe Flacco is going to be, oh gosh, he's still playing. If somebody allows him on the field, whatever. I'm going to go Gibson because I'm kind of a homer. I just like the way he play. Like he looks so good. He's so fluid. He's actually, I believe he's right now. I think it was 13th in elusive rating. Actually, it might even be top 10 in elusive rating right now in the NFL amongst running backs. So a guy who's elusive. He's quick with his jump cuts and everything. It looks really good. He catching the ball. They got Kyle Allen who's going to come in here, possibly give him a little bit of juice here. Hopefully they just keep using him. 18 touches last week. Just keep giving him those touches, man. Keep giving him those touches. Jonathan Taylor, Kareem Hunt. I would go. This is another tough one because two really good rush defenses, right? Two really good defenses. Sure, Cleveland's pass defense hasn't been there yet, but they've also had injuries, so they're going to get better. For me personally, I'm going Kareem Hunt because I think the Browns win this game in a close, kind of slugfest. But I think Kareem Hunt just it's gut feeling. I feel like he's going to have a pretty good game in this one. DJ Moore, CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb has the best matchup, in my opinion, for a wide receiver this week in the slot. So I'm going to say CeeDee, but it's really close. Your chance to buy low on DJ Moore. I'm telling you, Justin Jefferson, Tyler Boyd. Right now, I'd go Justin Jefferson. We talked about it the past week. Seattle's secondary is putrid. It's terrible right now. Justin Jefferson should be able to eat him alive. Now, that's obviously if Kirk Cousins could get him the ball, which hopefully he can. I believe he can. But Tyler Boyd really has a tough matchup. This Baltimore secondary, sure, they look bad against Kansas City. It's also Kansas City, right? This Patrick Mahomes, best quarterback in the league, sure, yeah, right next to Russell Wilson, yeah. But they look bad. But this is a very good like top 5 secondary in the league, who's probably going to. I don't know how this game's going to go, but I don't think Tyler Boyd's going to have as good as a game as Justin Jefferson, Darius Slayton, Deontay Thompson, or Deontay Johnson, sorry. This one, I'm a Steelers homer, but I am going to go Darius Slayton. I think this is a breakout game where this offense clicks a little bit because Dallas terrible, right? Dallas awful, defense terrible. So I'm going to go Darius Slayton, T. Higgins, Jamison Crowder. I don't know what to expect from Joe Flacco. I don't know what to expect. He loves his tight ends. The slot guys, yes, he kind of threw to him, but he also takes those deep shots to the wide receivers to the outside. I'd probably go Jamison Crowder here and hope for the best. Fingers crossed. Teddy Bridgewater, Matt Ryan. Teddy Bridgewater. I love Teddy Bridgewater this week. Daniel Jones or Jared Goff. I would go Daniel Jones this week because I think this might be one of your few opportunities to play him where he's going to, go off for a really good game. So I'm going to say Daniel Jones, but either one's a pretty good option this week. Herbert or Burrow. I'm going to go Herbert this week. I haven't really checked out the injury report that much for New Orleans, so I don't know if their wide receivers are playing in this game, but still, I'm going to go Herbert. Dalton Schultz or Evan Ingram going against each other. This is tough. I'm going to go Evan Ingram because I believe in this New York Giants offense this week. They'll probably burn me here. They'll probably make me look terrible, right? Because they'll probably come out and lay an egg. But I'm going to say Evan Ingram, but it's also a toss-up. I could see Schultz as well, but you drafted Ingram high, right? You got to play him, and I think this is the week to play him. Ebron or Mo Alley Cox, talked about this the other day. I'm going to go Ebron, increasing snaps every week so far. Has a good matchup against Philadelphia, who's been getting crushed by tight ends. So I like Eric Ebron this week. Last one, Hayden Hurst or Mike Gesicki. Ooh, this is a good one as well. I'm probably going to go with Mike Gesicki. Actually, I'm going to go Hayden Hurst. I think this is a week that he has a good fantasy week this week. So I'm going to go Hayden Hurst just because Gesicki going against San Francisco. San Francisco is tough. And I think they're going to get after. Well, last week, Ryan Fitzpatrick didn't have that big of a game because Seattle's like one of the worst pressure teams in the league this year, and they were getting after Ryan Fitzpatrick. So if Seattle can do it, San Francisco can do it. So I think they're going to be after him, and he's not going to have that much time. And Tua time's coming, baby. Tua. So wrap up final thoughts. If you have any questions, follow us on Twitter. Honestly, I'm pretty active all day on Twitter. So is Gigs and Ryan. So if you have any questions, just ask us. We're more than happy to give you our advice. Now, I'd always say go with your gut in fantasy because if you make the wrong decision, at least you made it rather than somebody else making it for you and then they say the wrong guy and you want to play the other guy and then you're pissed. So just go with your gut. Go with your gut and just live and die with your choices. You'll be good. You drafted your team for a reason. You like these guys for a reason. So, yeah. With that being said, thank you for listening. Hit that subscribe, like button, share this stuff, and follow us on Twitter. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful evening.